Greetings, BeRea Tea Time, NoTruthNow.com, and just a quick update in between our readings of Smith Wigglesworth. I can't wait to go on the next chapter. Actually, I may just do that real quick. But I want to do a quick update and just say, hey, and we're in the middle of these testimonies. The testimonies are much longer, and I'm so glad that people give the allocation for that. It's just good. It's so good. So you got to have the palate to be able to do the shorts, right, under a minute, which I'm sure are fun to get. And then you got to have the palate to do the long podcasts, especially when it comes to testimonies. So you get all that here, starting out from the beginning with the BeRea Blastcast and to now when we're doing testimonies. So we're in the middle of that. And I just want to remind people that I'm aware that I make mistakes, but I'm not editing anymore. I'm trying not to edit anymore because I lose units. You've heard me say that before. So if I say predecessor versus successor, like I did that, where was it? Regarding Sumrall and Wigglesworth. Wigglesworth preceded Sumrall. There, it's cleared out. Or if I mess up words or something like that, just expect that and be grateful that I'm human. If I start sounding perfect, you need to check that, okay? Or if you see me, because we're going to start doing, my hosting site is going to have video podcasts, which will be fantastic. Hopefully the timing and everything will work out to where I can do that instead. That way I can share screen and show you stuff and just freaking hit things. Boom, boom, boom. And there's so many other things I want to do. I want to do other interviews. It'll just speed up things, which is needful in some ways. And that's another thing I wanted to say. When you hear me doing a podcast, it could be at any time of the day or night. Just saying. I mean, middle of the night, middle of the morning, middle of the day, it just can be whatever it is, and under any circumstance. So if it's too slow for you, I've said this in a previous podcast, you can hit your screen somewhere on there and speed it up, which I recommend. I do recommend this. This is how I trained in the martial arts. I got to a point where I could just, play fast forward and watch what was happening. Because I had such a good foundation in the martial arts, I'd be able to see what they were doing maneuvering or what was going on, the enter, the follow-up, and the finish, and just execute it. It took a long time to be able to do that, by the way. I mean, I sat around with people in the beginning going, they just would watch it and get it, and I couldn't understand. That's because they were martial artists like forever before me. So, you have all those different kinds of things going on. Anyhow, I just want you to know you can speed up, and sometimes I'll speak faster, sometimes I won't. It'll just depend. But just understand, you're getting a lot of different versions of me and timelines of me, and when I'm tired, or when I was just driving, or when I'm happy, or when I'm sad, or when I just do it anyway. Not like any of those things matter. I enjoy doing these podcasts. They are a joy to me. I love sharing about the things I know about the Lord. I love talking about the Lord. I love talking about life. I love telling you about my testimony. I love telling you about things I think will help you. That's what I was, a coach and a teacher and a trainer for a very long time. So this is kind of like an outlet for that. This is my journal and stuff. So anyway, I wanted to premise all that, and I am going to go ahead and do I believe we're in chapter 5. Right? But I just uploaded chapter 3. I must have read through chapter 3 and 4 because I think we're on 5. So let's start at 5. Dare to believe God, then command. This is John 14:12 through 14. Most assuredly I say to you, he who believes in me, the works that I do, he will do also. And greater works than these he will do, because I go to my Father. And whatever you ask in my name, that I will do, that the Father may be glorified in the Son. If you ask anything in my name, I will do it. I just feel the fire all around that. I hope that just ignites in somebody's heart, mind, spirit, soul, some believer, some young person. I want to do just a podcast for the younger generations. I'm so proud of you guys. You guys are you're rising up. But I want to cover like the Timothy and Titus area of all that. And just in general, because if we're really looking at ourselves properly, we're all children, right? We're all young. We should be young. I'm north of 50 and I still feel young, with some experience. I don't know how to express it. So, but I want to do that because and I want to highlight those people. Also, I want to highlight Christian content creators. So I'm going to end on that as we go out of this. But okay, so chapter 5. He who believes, what a word. God's word changes us, and we enter into fellowship and communion. We enter into assurance and godlikeness. Okay, now, not godlikeness of the new age, because I just hear all of you saying, yeah, there you go, BeRea. We're all gods, and we're God, and you're God. And I'm like, no. I'm not God. I'm not ever going to be God. You're not God. And I'm surely looking at you going, you're not God, okay? I'm sorry, but you look like me if you're a human, all right? And maybe they're really trying to push the superhero thing across everything, because I'm sure that when people start inhabiting demons in general, they're going to have what looks like superpower traits. I mean, if faith changes the way your face looks, and fear changes the way your face looks, do you not? And Jezebel changes the way your face and your body works, and how you walk and how you talk. What do you think is going to happen when some of these other entities start entering you that you've allowed? And and you've been watching all the movies from forever, all the predictive programming, or however you want to look at it, and see that they have superpowers. That's not you. That's you tied to the demon that you. So that could be something that's coming down. I mean, they're so predictive programming now. Even in the AI, you have a lot of the content creators just pushing. Okay, let's create your super AI agent. We're going to put your head on a super body. I'm not kidding you. I went to a program with that, and I'm like, okay. They want to teach you that. Why? I mean, is that really what we're doing in business? I want you to see me in a superhero outfit. I didn't do that, by the way. I'm not saying it's good or bad. I just wasn't doing that. I was watching them do it, and they were talking about it, and then most of the people had already done it before, so it was like a quick version of the whole thing. Just be careful what you do, and listen to what you're being conditioned to, get used to, and get used to hearing what you hear over and over again, what the news is saying over and over again. I'm not saying listen to that often. I'm just saying check in every once in a while. What are they saying every day? All you have to do is check into 1 hour a day, and they're saying it on every channel for the whole 12 hours of that day. Or you can just ask someone that does that, and they're going to tell you. Anyhow, but you're not God. I'm not God. And the things that it does talk about in the Bible that are like that, be really careful how you get that in context. And really pray if you're coming out of the Hindu religion / New Age, or any of those religions that talk about you being a god or godlike or divine qualities or divine spirit or divine trait or whatever it is, and that's underlying self-righteousness and self-idolatry. Just be really careful about that. This guy, not it at all. He's already talking about being broken. And when he was saying it, I'm like, might have been me saying it, broken. That is just what we are in this world when we are coming out of it, and when we are translated to the kingdom of light. There's a brokenness that only the Lord can minister to. And I thank you for that, Father, in Jesus' name. We enter into assurance and God-likeness, for we see the truth and believe. Faith is an effective power. God opens the understanding and reveals himself. Therefore, it is of faith that we might be according to grace. That's Romans 4:16. Grace is God's blessing coming down to you. You open the door to God as an act of faith, and God does all you want. Jesus drew the hearts of the people to himself. They came to him with all of their needs, and he relieved them all. He talked to men, healed the sick, relieved the oppressed, and cast out demons. He who believes in me, the works that I do, he will do also. John 14:12. When you hear anything from John, it makes you just want to go read all that John wrote. All of his letters and then his revelation. You'll see his personality come out of that, and how his writing style and how he perceived Jesus. I could spend a lot of time there. But he who believes in me, the essence of divine life in us by faith. To the one who believes, it will come to pass. We believe supernatural by the power of God. If you believe, the power of the enemy cannot stand, for God's word is against him. You want me to read that one again? Yeah, BeRea, read that one. That was so good. I know it was so good. I want to read it again too. Let's read it again. We become supernatural power. We become supernatural by the power of God. If you believe, the power of the enemy cannot stand, for God's word is against him. Beautiful. Jesus gives us his word to make faith effective. If you can believe in your heart, you begin to speak whatever you desire, and whatever you desire to say, it is done. You will have whatever you say after you believe in your heart. See Mark 11:23 and 24. Dare to believe, and then dare to speak. For you will have whatever you say if you do not doubt. Some time ago in England, the power of God was on the meeting, and I was telling the people they could be healed. I said that if they would rise up, I would pray for them and the Lord would heal them. A man with broken ribs was healed. Then a 14-year-old girl said, "Will you pray for me?" After I prayed for her, she said, "Mother, I am being healed." She had straps on her feet, and when these were removed, God had healed her right away. Dare to believe God, Yahweh Elohim, and it'll be yours as you believe. Well, gosh, BeRea, doesn't that sound like manifesting? Doesn't that sound like what's that called? The other one that's like the secret thing, or you bring it into your life. Okay, the answer is there's a significant difference. One is truth, the one that he's talking about, and then there's the other one that is a knockoff of it. Remember, the kingdom of light, truth, no matter what, it will defend itself. I don't know why I'm enjoying saying that a lot lately, because it will defend itself. And the kingdom of darkness is every single spin on something that you could possibly have. And he has his hordes and his roaches working overtime. That is the enemy of the cross of Christ. That's Satan. That's the devil. He's working overtime to make sure that when you are thinking, he's got some derivative spun in there that he hopes you'll pick up on. Some derivative. You're supposed to be Philippians, 4, thinking on these things that are beautiful and, clean and pure and everything it says. And then you got something coming in there going, well, you weren't that clean yesterday, or you know what? Why don't you just go? Why don't you go get a bag of chips? Okay. Oh, why don't you go to McDonald's? Don't you know you want? We know we don't. You better not be going by McDonald's. You better not be eating at McDonald's or any of these fast food places anymore. No. It's just horrifying what they're putting in there. I think you've already told you. Okay, so that was chapter 5. That was it. Dare to believe. Then command. It's 2 pages. All right, we'll go to chapter 6 next time, but I want to cover a content creator and revisit the ones that we have. This is on Instagram. The Craft for Christ. She's across the board. That's her handle, so you can find her anywhere. She's good. I want to find him. His handle is Reality.Revolt. His name is Dimitri Oswald. He's out of France. Now, I'm going to play this, and then I'm going to say what it is in English, because I want you to understand what it's like. Like, I don't know that he knows Jesus, and I'm praying for him, that he comes to Jesus, just like Leo. I want him to come to Jesus, and he's looking in a Bible. Mr. Hello and Sheep, that guy. I want him, because he's hungry. And a lot of people's just passion is diverted or spun off or, distracted or in some pretty package that they were not meant to be. Jesus is actively trying to get people. The Father wants his children. He wants his sons and daughters. Anyhow. Okay, so let's go here. And this is a recent one. And I like this one because I consider him a truther. I call them truthers. I used to call them watchers, and then and just recently I'm like, oh, that's an actual thing, okay? Not watchers, okay? Truthers or theorists is probably the best way to describe them. So when you go see them, you'll see what I mean. Let's hear them. If I can get them to play.
Ça, c'est moi. Et là, c'est moi aussi. Non, je fais pas partie de l'élite, mais très jeune, j'étais photographe pour des magazines de luxe. Et quand tu vas au même genre d'événement, tu recroises toujours les mêmes figures. J'ai bossé plus de 15 ans dans l'image, la mode, la musique. Au début, je voulais juste faire ma place, utiliser le système pour injecter ma vision et créer librement. Mais partout, je voyais les mêmes codes revenir en boucle. J'étais aux premières loges, là où la décadence se fabrique avant de se diffuser partout. Des années à filmer leurs balles de fausse charité, leurs sourires crispés. Ça m'a transformé en détecteur de névrose. Je tournais des clips pour des chanteurs pop sans le moindre talent. Ce que certains appellent style, moi j'y voyais des symptômes. Derrière la caméra, je ne voyais plus des gens, mais des schémas, des comportements conditionnés. Une prostitution spirituelle et physique pour garder leur place dans le cirque. Ton art, ton corps, ton esprit, tout doit être à vendre. J'essayais de mettre en scène la débauche, de caricaturer cette machine infernale, mais l'intégrité ne se finance pas. J'ai vite compris que j'avais aucune chance de m'intégrer sans me trahir. Les labels ne veulent pas éveiller, ils veulent du formater pour maintenir la masse sous contrôle. Et au final, c'est le manque de talent et d'intégrité qui est récompensé. Mais il était impossible de me coller une étiquette, et ça m'a coûté cher. J'ai bossé jour et nuit sur des projets qui n'ont jamais vu le jour. J'ai été ruiné plusieurs fois, des années d'insomnie. Une prise de conscience, ce n'est pas un voyage paisible. C'est une purge longue, brutale et violente. Voilà pourquoi mon ton est anxiogène, parce que je ne joue plus. C'est mon paradoxe. J'ai navigué au cœur du système tout en restant extérieur à son emprise. Quand on voit vraiment le cirque, on ne peut plus faire semblant. C'est ça, la vraie rapture. La sortie silencieuse et radicale de la matrice. La fausse pandémie a été mon point de non-retour. À partir de là, je ne pouvais plus rejouer un rôle. Le système ne voulait pas de moi, et tant mieux. Ce rejet m'a forcé à tout remettre en question et à commencer le vrai travail. Mettre des mots là où il n'y en avait pas. Parce qu'on vit dans un bruit constant, trop d'informations, trop de contradictions, au point que plus rien n'est clair. Et pour ceux qui parlent de complot parce que je sors des cases, c'est justement en naviguant entre les cases que j'ai pu faire les liens. Reality.Revolt, c'est pas une niche, c'est un combat personnel. C'est mon vécu qui m'a poussé à tout démonter et exposer cette opération de contrôle mental de masse.
Okay, I'm going to do this in English now this time. Okay, now he's so quick. I'm going to try and keep up with it. If I can't, just have mercy on me. Let me pause that and then I'm going to do this. Reality.Revolt on Instagram. I don't know if he's on YouTube. Pray for Dimitri. Okay, I'm going to try and do credit here. Okay, that's me. And that's me too. No, I'm not part of the elite, but when I was very young, I was a photographer for luxury magazines. This is already too quick. Where you always see the same faces. I'm going to have to pause and keep going. I worked over 15 years in image, fashion, and music. At first, I just wanted to find my place, use the system, and inject my vision and create freely. But everywhere, I saw the same codes repeating. I was in front row, where decadence was created before it spreads everywhere. Years filming, their fake charity gallias, their forced smiles, it turned me into a detector of neurosis. I was shooting musical videos for pop artists with no real talent and some call style. I saw symptoms behind the camera. I no longer saw people but patterns, conditioned behaviors, and a spiritual physical prostitution to keep their place in the circus. Your art, your body, your mind, everything have to be for sale. I tried to stage that decadence to expose the infernal machine, but integrity doesn't get funded. I quickly understood I had no chance of fitting in without betraying myself. Labels don't want to awaken people. They want content that fits the mold to keep the masses under control. And in the end, it's a lack of intent and integrity that gets rewarded. I couldn't be labeled, and it cost me dearly. I worked day and night on projects that never saw the light. I lost everything multiple times. Years of insomnia. Awakening is not a peaceful journey. It's a long, brutal, and violent purge. Wow. And that's why my tone can feel unsettling, because I don't play anymore. That's my paradox. I navigated the system without ever being shaped by it. Only once do you see, can't predict anymore, that's the real break, a silent and radical exit from the matrix. The false pandemic was my point of no return. From that moment, I couldn't play a role anymore. The system didn't want me, and that was a blessing. It forced me to question everything and to start the real work, putting words where there were none, because we live in constant noise, too much information, too many contradictions, until nothing makes sense anymore. And for those calling it a conspiracy because I don't fit in, it's exactly what I read between the lines that I was able to connect the dots. Reality.Revolt isn't a niche, it's a personal fight. My experience pushed me, and I pushed everything down, large scale, mental conditioning. He's so fast here. Okay, okay. And I was hoping that he would have what, I haven't looked into this yet. And by the way, he's got pictures with top people, okay? And he's obviously French, so this was over there. We were talking like, there's one with Paris Hilton, and all these models and all this filming and stuff. So this is the first time that he's ever shared about who he is, but his content is really good. You can tell now that I know, I can see that he is a filmmaker with his own content, but his tone, his speed, everything about what he does in that way is very, very cool. You'll have to go check it out. But he's even showing pictures of when he was younger in here, which is really interesting. But I want you to know how awesome he is in general.
La validation dans son
She's waiting for validation in
Et
her
c'est là qu'elle se
earpiece.
dit
Hang
que
on.
tous-
Uh-oh.
Elle attend la validation dans son oreillette. Et c'est là qu'elle se dit que tout ce cirque est allé trop loin. Peut-être qu'elle repense à la capsule Orion lâchée depuis cet avion qui tournait devant San Diego à 20 000 pieds. Ou peut-être qu'elle en rit parce qu'il n'y avait pas de vapeur d'eau. Il nous parlait de plus de 5000 degrés pendant la rentrée dans l'atmosphère.
5,000 degrees Fahrenheit.
Et pourtant seulement 1000 degrés dans l'eau, ça donne ça. Peut-être qu'elle a vu qu'ils avaient oublié le logo NASA sur le module. Ou alors elle repense à Reed Wiseman, qui nous disait que c'était la première fois qu'on envoyait des hommes sur la Lune.
This is the first time we're going to send humans to the moon.
Ils sont tombés à 40 000 km/h,
24,000 miles per hour.
avec un ralentissement 4G. Et Wiseman répond comme s'il était dans son salon.
Houston, integrity, we have you loud and clear.
Regardez cet exemple à 3,6G. Donc là, aucun souci. Et pas besoin de protection pour ouvrir le side hatch. À la place, ils nous font un signe satanique de la main et sont prêts pour une nouvelle interview. Parce que c'est ça leur vrai métier. Comme l'a dit Sean Duffy, ils viennent de Central Casting,
American astronauts that are on that flight, they're right out of Central Casting.
une agence spécialisée dans le casting de figurants. Parce que les astronautes sont des acteurs. Alors soit ils sont très bien payés, soit ils sont menacés. Mais dans tous les cas, ils se moquent de vous.
Okay, let me do that. And then watch my 5-hour series. Let me just go there real quick because I want to make sure I put it on here. Okay, I'm going to have to...
Donc là, aucun souci.
That's not going to work. All right, hang on. So he has a go to his website. I think it is Reality.Revolt, and he has some kind of program on there that you can get. Man, support him. Support this kid. I don't know what his belief system is, but you can see on people's faces when they carry a cost. Like when I see him do his content, I'm like, this is someone that, bears a burden. And I pray for him to know Jesus because Jesus will lighten that as he's doing what he's doing. But Jesus is perfect in his timing and how he discloses himself and reveals himself to everybody. But I'm praying for him because that's what we're supposed to do. All right, so this one is on to incredible embarrassment of the United States, this launch that we recently have with the Artemis. Let's just start with the name, but you can go figure that out yourself. Here's what he says. There are too many inconsistencies for it to be coincidence. Learn to recognize the patterns yourself. Watch my series, https://realityrevolt.com. And then he says, this is in his comments, at some point you can't control the performance anymore. Even the best actor slips. And that moment reveals everything. Go back to the beginning of this mission. Watch carefully. The details don't align. The reactions don't match. And the more you look, the more inconsistencies appear. There are too many to be coincidence. Okay, so he's doing his truther thing on this launch. Now you got to understand. I'm gonna insert a couple things real quick. I saw this, and then and of course I've been watching this, and I put this in a couple places where people are like, where are these people dumping all these chemtrails at? How are they able to do that? I'm like, all you have to do is watch the flight patterns. Because the flight patterns they're doing, they're a specific way. So it's back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, or X, or sometimes do a triangle because they love that. Sometimes they've even done pentagram. That's really lovely. I've seen circles in Arizona. I mean, okay, they're just doing whatever they want with this. And you can actually see them. They get special patches for that kind of work. Okay, you got to pray their hearts be softened and for their salvation. These people be cracked in the name of Jesus. And when I mean cracked, either bow a knee to Jesus because it's not okay. But you can see that. And then it wasn't like a week later because this is all relatively recent. I'm like, you see that Palantir is buying up the FFA. That's because we can see you. I'm sure Palantir is going to try to protect that. Whether I'm not judging him because I don't know what the totality of his work is, even though a lot of people hate, CARP. I'm just saying. I don't have anything to say about that. He says he's protecting us. Well, from who? If he's protecting us from the government, okay, because it looks like DARPA and all these people are already doing this, well, then that's good. I don't know. At this point, it's like, where's Jesus? we want him. But this guy is so good at deciphering that, and he shows that in here. So I would recommend going to his page because his visuals are so on point, and they're one after another. So he's taken the content creation and just nailed it to do. The Canadian glitch guy is the same. He's just as good. He just has a different style at doing it. And in the back in the day when I started understanding who these people were, it was a call for an uprising and hacking the headlines and pocket-fold sunshine people. And there were other guys that I didn't follow them all the time, but they weren't any different. They'd be getting kicked off of YouTube every other minute, coming back and freaking raising up all their followers again. I mean, they get kicked off, they come back. They get kicked off, they come back. They kick out. When that keeps happening, or you see that, you probably should be going, why? Okay, but here, I don't know how many people actually think that we went to the moon. They really tried to pull off another CGI stunt. First of all, they did the girls up there, and they came down. That was an epic fail. Okay, but how many people are actually believing this after they've already told you that they're actors, and they're gonna, he already said it was in central casting. That's where these guys come from. The dark skinned guy is an actor. The girl right here that goes, uh-oh, okay, you'll see her throw her devil horns all over the place. They're acting. Didn't really happen. Then I just talked about the moon turning red with an amateur photographer. I put that on a podcast real quick. Just recently I was inserted in probably one of these Smith Wigglesworth ones on that happening and how that's prophetic. That's in the Bible. So don't get all of your news from just one place. But this guy I really like. So we're going to highlight him today. Reality.Revolt on Instagram. I don't know where else he is, but I just respect him. And you could see the wisdom and the pain in his eyes when he's doing this. I hope the Lord bless him and keep him, make his face to shine upon him, and draw him unto himself for complete salvation through and through. I don't know that he's ever talked to it, but I don't like scour everybody's page, by the way. Sometimes I may get it through a few of them, but not really. I'm going to try to read because he's quick. He's so freaking fast. But our minds can pick that up. You got to remember that, okay? You can pick up my words if I speed them up, which is why I've even mentioned that earlier. You can do the same thing with your visual. And I've always said this, watch things first before you hear it, and then hear it and then watch it. That's a good method to just really check something out so that you're not watching in an alpha state, right? Okay, so he says, she's waiting for validation in her earpiece. He's going to tell you, and you got to go, well, maybe you should just go look at this yourself. I'll finish it because I want you to have the English for the English version people, okay? Uh-oh.
Elle attend la validation dans son oreillette.
She's waiting for validation in her earpiece. Okay, I'm going to try and pause. And that's when she realized that all the circus has gone.
Tout ce cirque est allé trop loin.
Has gone too far. Maybe she's thinking back to the Orion capsule that was released because the girl's laughing and she looks like she just forgot everything that she said. This is one of the astronauts. She's wearing the hat with astronaut Koch on Artemis 2 in her nice little outfit there. Okay.
Peut-être qu'elle repense à la capsule Orion lâchée depuis cet avion.
The Orion capsule that was released in San Diego at 20,000 feet. And he's showing what I just told you, the actual plane taking off, the flight pattern of it in the area where the capsule was thrown off. I mean, well, how is it there? How are they just happening to be landing outside it, out right next to, San Diego, right in California? Do you know how big this planet is? You know how big the Earth is? And, when they landed, they just happened to be coming back in space and landing right there over in, Baja California, Mexico. Okay, I don't even know what to say.
À 20 000 pieds.
A plane that's flying in front of San Diego, or maybe she's thinking about. I'm gonna pause to see how much. Or maybe she's thinking about Henry because there was no. He was talking to us about over 50,000 degrees during reentry. He's talking about that into the atmosphere, and yet there's only 1,000 degrees in water, and this is what it gives. It's absolutely steaming. He shows you the picture. That 1,000 degrees, if I don't have the math right on this, you have to Celsius versus whatever. It's freaking steaming. Maybe she saw that they had forgotten the NASA logo on the. Oh my goodness! On the freaking the Gosh, let me do this again. I don't know that I'll be able to keep up with this. Okay. And you had 1,000 degrees in the water, and that's what it gives. Steam, total steam. Maybe she saw that they had forgotten the NASA logo on the module. Or maybe she's thinking back to Red Wiseman, who told us that it was the first time they were sending men to the moon. Yeah, this is the first time we were going to the moon. They were falling at 40,000 kilometers per hour. 40,000 kilometers per hour. With a 4G slow, and Wiseman responds as if he were in his living room. Look at this example of 3.6G. The guy passed out. And if you heard me, or if you've seen on my page, I actually uploaded a guy who was doing 7G, and he passed out. Okay, just that alone should tell you that this is all fake. Okay, so no problem there, and no need for protection to open the side. Hang on. Open the side of the hatch. They make a satanic sign with their hand and are ready for the new interview because that's their real job. She does satanic, and now they're laughing, and it's so good. And he said that they came from Central Casting. Now, you have to know where that is. Even Trump has talked about it. The agents specializing in extras at Central Casting because astronauts are actors. So either they're very well paid or they're threatened. But in any case, they're making fun of you. See into the dark. That's his... that the 5-hour thing that you could go and support, like videos or whatever it is. Anyhow, so that's Reality.Revolt on Instagram. I hope you like that. That was brutal. He's so quick, I can't keep up with it. Plus, I'm reading the captions, and there's double captions, and blah, blah, blah. Go look at it yourself. It's well worth checking out. But it's an embarrassment to the United States and anybody that believes that we went to the moon. Man, they are, and it's funny to watch other people because all these rockets that are going, they're going straight up and boom, they're hitting something. There's some kind of reaction to what they're hitting. And a lot of people are saying they're hitting the firmament. They can't get out, that they're trying to mock the living God. But even when you see that go, first of all, they made it in the, they made it like a phallic symbol. I've said this before. And number one. Number two, when you see it actually take off, it looks really big at first, but man, when you see it in the expanse of the sky and how big the sky is and how big where we are is this world that we're in, it's like nothing. Man, Yahweh Elohim sits on high and laughs at all of this, because they're really trying to do what they're going to do. What they're doing, they're just lying. And once it's a lie, just remember, you can do warfare against it. So I'm going to listen to the next podcast that I want to upload and get prepared to upload it for you. And then we'll go back to the Wigglesworth readings. Or I may have one more testimony for you, but definitely want to get one more up today here. So many blessings to you. BeRea Tea Time out for now, and NoTruthNow.com. Content creator. Just some thoughts from me. And one chapter 5 from Smith Wigglesworth.